I'm launch consultant Jackie Hayes, and welcome to Launch Lessons, a special mini-series of the Here's What I Learned podcast. Each week for the next 5 weeks, I'm sharing the most impactful launch lessons of some of my favorite online business owners. If you're in the middle of a launch or have one coming soon, listen in and learn from these incredible entrepreneurs. Miish Grixti is joining us today. She is the copywriting coach for coaches. Not only has she helped coaches create copy for their launches, but she's also had many of her own launches to learn from. As you listen to this episode, I think you're going to hear a recurring theme from last week. And here's Miish.
Hi, my name is Miish Grixti, and I am so excited to share 3 of my most impactful launch lessons with you in this very punchy, quick podcast episode. So to start with, lesson number 1 is to prioritize your delight during your launch period. And by that, I mean, when you actually take the time to start your day by asking yourself, like, how could I make today fun? Or what would delight me today? That is going to really help you put yourself in that position where instead of going straight into scarcity and I'm behind and I need to do this and this and this, it really places you in that really powerful energy of reminding yourself that this is your business. You get to do these things. You get to have the business and lifestyle where you get to launch, and where you're afforded this opportunity to, have things in your day, even during this really big, cash flow injection phase of your business, that you can still have things in your day where you prioritize your delight before putting on your work hat and doing all the tasks required during your launch. So that is my first big launch lesson. And the reason I share that is because without that, with going straight into shit, what am I behind in? What do I need to get done today? You are going to have such a sucky time. And ask me how I know. I actually, for my very first group program launch, I did this turned out to be a lesson that I embodied really well. And I took it for granted. And when it came to my second launch, and I didn't practice this or prioritize my delight during my launch days, it showed. It felt much harder. It was harder to show up. It was harder to do those tasks. And since then, I've really learned, like, I will unlock so much more energy for myself to get through my launch when I prioritize my delight. So that is my first launch lesson for you. The second launch lesson that I found to be most powerful is the lesson of detachment, staying detached to your goal, but committed to it. And this is like one of those energetic balances that sounds really, really frustrating to hear. But when you find that energetic balance within you and you bring yourself back to detachment from the goal, but committed to showing up and committed to your offer and committed to your clients who this offer is perfect for, that is a very, very, very powerful place to be in. And it's a really magnetic energy too. So when I think of being detached from my goal, what that requires is actually getting honest with myself about, like, okay, if my launch goals aren't met, am I still going to be able to, stay in business? Am I still going to be able to pay the rent this month? Am I still going to be able to pay my bills? And actually taking time to get clear on that ahead of your launch is a thing in itself, right? So take that time ahead of your launch to let your prefrontal cortex know that, hey, no matter what happens during the launch, like, my livelihood and well-being is not dependent on the outcome. And that knowing that is going to help you remain detached. So when you're going for your goal, when you're showing up, when you're sending emails, when you're doing your webinar, whatever it is for your launch, there isn't that intense sense of need and almost desperation that comes through if you're thinking, holy shit, this launch has to work or else. So that detachment is going to be really powerful. And the other part of that, like, just because you're detached from your goal doesn't mean you're not committed to the value of your offer and who it is here to serve and support. And when you tap into that energy, along with the detachment to getting your needs met, but being committed to getting your best fit clients, supported and equipped and resourced with, the best resources to support them to create what they want to create, which is your offer, that is so powerful. It's so magnetic. So detached and committed is launch lesson number 2. And my third lesson is to evaluate your launch. And by that, I mean, take time to ask yourself, what went well? What didn't go well? What will I do different next time? And to actually hold space for yourself long enough to answer those questions when you might just be excited and, wanting to move on or getting into the delivery mode of what you just sold, or you might be really disappointed and wanting to put it behind you and just start, planning how it's going to be bigger and better next time. No matter what you're feeling at the end of your launch, actually taking that time to evaluate is going to be so, so powerful, because the lessons that you uncover from those 3 simple, powerful questions, if you've hit your launch goals, then the answers to those questions are going to equip you with the tools and insights to do that again in the future. And if you haven't, the same thing is true. You either win or you learn, right? Like the lessons you take from it in that evaluation phase is going to equip you to have a bigger or more successful or more grounded or more enjoyable launch in the future. So those are my 3 lessons for you.
I love Miish's advice to prioritize delight, detach from the goal, and evaluate your launch. This mini-series has been brought to you by my Launch Like a Superhero quiz. Creating a launch you love is all about learning, experimenting, and harnessing your launch superpowers. Head over to my website at jackiehayes.online and take my quiz to learn more about your unique superhero launch style. Discover your unique set of launch superpowers, shine a light on your launch supervillain, create your launch super team, develop a launch plan of action, and add fun and whimsy to your next launch. Thanks for listening to this podcast mini-series. You can find the show notes and transcripts at jackiehayes.online. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and leave a review. Until next week, go launch like a superhero.